Hello everyone, welcome to Series on Environment, and our story today is about the UNRED report. UNRED report, I'll just explain it in detail. But before we dive deeper, let me just mention one correction with regards to the type of candidates. It is glucose. I'll also mention it in the correction section. But I'll also add it here. The environmental DNA released in the environment due to terrestrial or aquatic ecosystems. It's for additional. So basically the UNRED report. So why it was in news? The United Nations reducing emissions from, write the full form, reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. Okay. So a report of UNRED report titled Accelerating. Okay, yeah. Accelerating action. Just writing it first. Raising ambition, accelerating action towards national determined contributions of forests. Okay, so basically this is a report titled Raising Ambition and Accelerating Action Towards Indices of Forests. It was in news because it released this report, and the key highlights or findings, you can say, of this report or findings of the report. Okay, so with regards to the key highlights or findings of the report, only 8 of the top 20 countries, only 8 of the top 20 countries in tropical deforestation have quantified their, I will just mention what are NDCs, have quantified NDCs, nationally determined contributions of forests. And also another key finding includes 11 of the NDCs are quantified on, the quantified NDCs are on climate change mitigation, which requires reducing deforestation. Then 11 of the NDCs are quantified on climate change mitigation, then afforestation and reforestation. So what is the difference between afforestation and reforestation is, in case of reforestation, like on degraded forest, like if it is lost due to a forest fire or other natural calamity event, you try to plant trees over there. But in case of afforestation, it is basically like in that place where there is no forest, you try to plant trees. That is afforestation. Okay, so 11 of the NDCs have quantified targets on afforestation, reforestation and climate change mitigation. So basically with regards to the UNRED, it is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. You can write it as about UNRED. So it was launched in the year 2008, and it basically provides technical assistance to RED plus initiatives basically provides assistance to RED plus initiatives and or also assistance to countries in implementing this, and also to meet, those countries which meet UNFCCC requirements. So this UNFCCC requirements include committed to this NDCs, getting committed to this NDCs like a reduction in global warming, reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. Of this comes under UNFCCC requirements. I'm just mentioning a few examples. So to meet UNFCCC requirements for the purpose of result-based payments. So with regards to the result-based payments also, it provides assistance. When we say technical assistance, it means consider, for instance, with regards to satellite imagery, drones, for the purpose of getting to know about forest cover. All of this comes under technical assistance. So it provides, you can write it as it is the largest provider of assistance to REDD plus initiatives, largest assistance provider. Okay, and it also provides assistance to the countries in order to meet the UNFCCC requirements, in the sense, like specifically with regards to result-based payments, what we mention is like, the financial incentives are directly given to that particular country. Given to the country if it reduces, if greenhouse gas emissions are reduced. So that means it is a result-based payment system. So the result is reduction in greenhouse gas emission. Based upon that, the financial incentive is given to the particular developing country. So consider, for instance, you getting a 10 rupees for getting 10 marks in your exam from your mother to buy 5 chocolate is similar to that. Okay. So basically, you can write it as it is largest provider of assistance to the REDD plus initiative. Along with that, you can mention as it provides technical assistance to the countries in order to implement these initiatives. So basically, within this, it includes capacity development, which is the requirement of infrastructure, that is the technology development, also the policy implementation. With regards to the policy implementation or policy recommendations also is done by this UNRED. So that set of principles that we need to adopt. And also, when you say in order to meet UNFCCC requirements, as nationally determined contributions have to be met, or in order to reduce the global temperature increase. So in order to meet this, for meeting this, they'll be given, countries will be awarded the result-based payments. Okay. And with regards to it is UNRED. It is a flagship. It is one of the most important. You can write it as technical and advisory program. Technical is flagship knowledge and advisory program, in the sense it provides information, scientific research, and knowledge and advisory program. Focuses on advancing Paris Agreement. And when you say Paris Agreement, India is both a signatory and it ratified Paris Agreement. Okay, currently, basically with regards to the goal of this Paris Agreement, I have to mention that in order to limit the global warming to well below 2 degrees centigrade compared to pre-industrial levels. Okay, and also it also includes to pursue efforts in order to limit or reduce the global average temperature increase. to 1.5 degrees centigrade. So when we say pre-industrial levels, why it means like when the earth was, during pre-industrialization, in the sense when there was no urbanization, no industrialization, and you can say when there was no heavy reliance on fossil fuels, the climate condition was extremely stable. Earth's climate was stable. So consider, for instance, if the pre-industrial levels global average temperature is 22, just giving it rough example, okay? So the global warming has to be limited to well below 2 degrees centigrade, in the sense it should be somewhere between 22 to 24 degrees centigrade. Well below, that means below 24 degrees centigrade. I'm just giving it as an example for better understanding, okay? So pre-industrial levels includes this phase, okay? So this is an international agreement, and came into force the negotiation of this took place in the year 2015, the negotiation of Paris Agreement, but it came into force in November 2016. Okay? Paris Agreement. And about REDD, the current member countries include 65 countries, including India, with regards to UNREDD. And also with regards to REDD+. So it goes beyond deforestation and degradation. It focuses on enhancing carbon stock. You write it in straight lines, okay? Enhancing carbon stock, conservation of carbon stock. So when we say carbon stock, it basically is like carbon pool, okay? And it also focuses on sustainable forest management practices, as you can mention the example as agroforestry, integrating agriculture into forest. Okay, so carbon stock is like carbon pool, okay? So it basically is the amount of carbon that is stored in an ecosystem. So it focuses on enhancing carbon stock, it focuses on conservation of carbon stock. When we say carbon stock, it is not just, it's through afforestation, reforestation. Along with that, proper monitoring of carbon stock is required, right? Like proper data is also required. When we say nationally determined contributions, I want to give one best example is India has an NDC of increasing its forest cover or tree cover, which is equal to observe, you can write it as equal or equivalent to observe 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent. Okay, this is one of the best example. Also, India's commitment of increasing its 50% of its energy requirements from renewable energy sources, or to get 500 gigawatts of energy from renewable energy sources by 2030. That's one of the best example of NDC, but it is not of NDC of forest. This is NDC of forest. Thank you. Stay tuned for more updates. I'll discuss the rest in the next class. Stay tuned for more updates.